In today's session of Divorce Court, Crystal Rivera was stunned when her husband Eric walked out on her 11 days after the wedding.
He married me knowing that he had a girlfriend.
I did not want the marriage. She knew that. I made it very clear to her.
He bought her a gift on our honeymoon.
Oh, why did you walk into my court?
He says he only married her because of their son.
I looked at him and I couldn't disappoint him.
All of a sudden, you're not in the house with them. You're not together. You don't think now that he's disappointed, Daddy is not here.
Everyone makes mistakes.
He comes around when it's convenient for Eric to come around.
Do you know what it's like to go to school full-time and work a job that's 24/7?
Yeah, I do. I know what it's like to go to school full-time and work a job. Full-time, 3 kids, and was there for them every single day of their lives. Yes, we do know what it's like.
Now, Crystal Rivera hopes to make Eric Diaz face up to his responsibilities as a father in today's session of Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Crystal Rivera versus Eric Diaz. Ms. Rivera, is this right, or am I reading this wrong? You left after 11 days of marriage?
Yes, Your Honor. He married me knowing that he had a girlfriend, okay? I came back from our honeymoon. The same night that we came back home, he stood out the whole night and did not come home.
After the honeymoon with your wife, you went out with another honey?
Actually, I was with this girl for a while. We didn't have the greatest time at our honeymoon. We were fighting the whole time. I didn't want to get married. Basically, she knew that. It was clear. I told her several times.
So if you didn't want to get married, why did you get married?
For my son,
Your
basically.
Honor, Your Honor,
Wait a minute. Explain this to me again.
Well, I told her that I really didn't want to get married. This wasn't the decision. We weren't really working out as it is, you know.
Your Honor, he paid for the whole entire wedding. He paid for it.
But he didn't want to get married.
Yeah, right.
We basically weren't together. She knew that. The marriage was
Your Honor, we were living together.
Hold on a second. She knew that?
Yes, she did know that.
So why did you stand up there before that altar and be together if you weren't together?
I did it for my son. I had my son that whole day before the wedding. I had him. I looked at him and I couldn't disappoint him. I wanted to be the father.
You couldn't disappoint your son. Please spare me. You're disappointing him now? What's the difference between going through an entire marriage ceremony, spending money on a honeymoon, got all those people there being witnesses at your wedding? It was a wedding, right?
Yes.
And now suddenly you can disappoint your son when you get back 4 days later?
It wasn't that.
Well, you said that.
The fact was, she knew that I had a lot of pressure.
You said I couldn't disappoint my son.
Exactly.
So the love for your son and the disappointment and your desire to please this little son, how old are we talking about?
How old is my son?
Yes.
He's going to be 3 in January.
Your Honor,
and he really knows what's going on, and you didn't want to disappoint him.
Well,
so why now, 4 days later, you don't mind disappointing him?
It wasn't that I didn't mind disappointing him. That wasn't the thing.
Well, you went out with your girlfriend?
Yes, I did.
And what did you think that was going to do to the marriage?
She knew I did not want the marriage. She knew that. I made it very clear to her.
But you married her because you didn't want to disappoint your son.
Exactly.
So we're talking about your son
I know what
now.
it was like to grow up without a father. You know, my father, I never knew him. And knowing how it feels to not know your father, I didn't want my son to feel the same way.
Your Honor,
if you went out with someone else and destroyed the marriage, obviously you were no longer thinking about being with your son every day, or you thought that you could have a wife and a mistress.
No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to leave. She knew that I didn't want to get married.
So if you wanted to leave, then that means you didn't want to be with your son every day.
Yes, I still do want to be with my son every day.
Your Honor, he is not with his son every day.
You are really talking circular, and you don't even hear yourself. And I can't make you hear it. If you wanted to be with him every day, you married his wife his mother because you wanted to be with him every day. Then you left his mother. What does that say?
What does that say? That it is basically a contradiction. That's what it says.
Thank you very much.
But
maybe I should have used that word, contradiction, then. You understand what I'm saying now?
I know what you're saying, but in that state, I was very confused. I had a lot of pressure on me.
And you still
I was the only one working.
So where was the girlfriend all this time?
She didn't come into the picture. I wasn't looking for a girlfriend.
No,
it just
where
happened.
was she is what I said.
What do you mean, where was she?
When did she get into this picture?
She came
in April.
The day of the wedding?
No, he was with her since April. I found out that he was with her since April. We got married in May. So he was already with her a couple months before.
After the engagement?
Yes.
After he had promised to marry you?
Yes,
we were
he got
engaged.
with her. Your Honor, he bought her a gift on our honeymoon. Okay? I found out later that what he had purchased at the shop
What did he purchase her?
It was a keychain with her initial A.
Everyone makes mistakes.
That is not a mistake, Mr. Diaz.
It was a mistake for myself.
But you made a conscious decision. So you told me to get married because you wanted to be with your son every day of his life and not disappoint him because you didn't have a father in your life every day. That is a decision. That is a thought process. Mistakes are not thought processes. You do something without thinking. That's a mistake. You thought that out. But at the same time, you wanted another woman. You're old enough to know to make up your mind what you want. You don't have a problem doing it now. So that's not a mistake. You're just trying to make it sound good.
I do not have a problem.
How can you be a good father to your son? It all goes together. Now you're not going to be with him every day. What are you explaining to him now?
What do you mean, what am I explaining to him
Didn't
now?
I ask a question? I mean what I said. What are you explaining to him now that you're not with his mother? What are you saying to him?
I didn't really discuss it with him. He wouldn't understand. He's only 3 years old.
He wouldn't understand it? But you said that's why you married his mother, so that you wouldn't disappoint him. You acted like he understood everything. Mm-hmm. So you don't think now that he understands that you're not with his mother, all of a sudden you're not in the house with them, you're not together. You don't think now that he's disappointed? This is disappointment that he truly understands. Daddy is not here. He needs some answer. What are you giving him?
I give him love. That's what I give him. When I see him, I give him...
When he comes around.
But all of a sudden, Daddy is not there, and you didn't want to leave him because you didn't have a father. What are you explaining to him why Daddy isn't there?
I made wrong decisions.
What are you telling him, Ms. Rivera?
Well, I'm the one that stays up at night when he's crying for him. I'm the one that loves my son. I'm the one that full-time takes care of my son. I'm the one that had to go to school and work, but I had to leave school because he was not helping me watch.
What time? How much time is he spending with this child that he didn't want to disappoint so badly?
Your Honor, he comes around when it's convenient for Eric to come around.
In a week, how much time does Mr. Diaz spend with him?
He doesn't come around weekly. It's every other month.
Every other month?
Yeah.
Not the man that wants to have his father image and have his son there with him all the time.
The reason why...
You know what? I'm talking at the moment, if you don't mind. I gave you your time. Not the person who wants to make certain that his son has a father image is not coming around every other month or once a month. Are you, Mr. Diaz?
Yes. My son does know who I am. He does have a father image. I spend as much time as I can with him.
As much time as you can?
Yes, as much time as I can. I have school.
So since he only comes around every other month to spend time with him, what is he doing in terms of the child's support and meeting his other needs?
He's not. If he comes around, that's when he'll give money, you know. But other than that, it's not a weekly thing. That's what I've been asking for him, is maybe a weekly or a monthly support so it could go towards his child care or go towards his diapers. Or, you know, he drinks like 2 gallons of milk a week. You know, I mean, it's very expensive to have a child. You know,
he drinks 2 gallons of milk a week. He's in child care. Yeah. He wears diapers, but he's planning for his future when he's wearing pants. Then he's going to come around and buy him something.
Yeah.
He got to get through the diaper phase.
If he
what
needs
about
something,
that?
she can call me and let me know. I'm there financially for him.
She
Tell
can
me this,
call
Crystal.
me?
Wait.
Now she has to call you and tell this good father who's concerned about his child.
I do call her. I do call. You notice I have been calling.
No. Your statement to me was, if he needs something, she can call me.
When divorce court returns, Eric's temper gets the best of him.
So do you know what it's like to go to school full-time and work a job?
Yes, we do know what it's like.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce court is back in the case of Krista Rivera, who says that her husband Eric bought gifts for his girlfriend, but doesn't support their young son.
Why does she have to call you if he needs something?
Because usually when I call, she doesn't tell me if he needs anything. I
Well, you
speak to
don't
my
think
son.
your child needs something every day? Why does she have to call and tell you that you need something? Does anybody have to call you and tell you that you need clothes on your back?
No, no one tells me
So
that.
why does anybody have to call you and tell you your son needs something? He's a human being. He's breathing.
I
he's
realize
living.
that.
He's walking.
That's why I took
he
him
needs
shopping
food
last
and
week.
clothing. Why does she have to call you and tell you?
She didn't have to call and tell me.
Well, that's what you just
I'm saying,
said.
if he really needs something,
What does
and she
if
cannot,
he really needs something mean?
what it means is if she has no means of getting it, I can get it.
Other than herself or someone else, then she can call you on emergency.
No,
Is that what you're saying?
I call, Your Honor. I have been calling. I took him shopping last week. I bought him things. I spend quality time with my son. It's not the time you
Last
spend
week,
with
good.
him.
Ask him when was the last time before last week that he saw his son.
Crystal, do you know what it's like to go to school full time
No,
and
Yeah,
work
I do.
a job
I do.
Yeah, so do
that's
I.
24/7?
Yeah, I do.
So
I
do
know what
I.
it's like to go to school full time and work a job.
And I still
And
raise a
raise
son.
children. I did it. And you know what? Full time, 3 kids. And worked. And took care of my children, spent time with them and fed them and clothed them and was there for them every single day of their lives. Yes, we do know what it's like. And that's no excuse. You should have thought about that before you had him. And now that he's here, you have to balance your time. Doesn't mean that you can just decide that I'm going to do what Mr. Diaz wants and I'm going to go to school and work. Yes, we know what it's like, but you have a child. So you no longer have the option. In the case that no one has told you, you no longer have the option of just taking care of Mr. Diaz. So that means that some of that time that you're going to school and working, you got to find some time for your son. So since you're working every day, how much are you giving to his mother that you love? No, not her, for the care of this child that you love so much. How much are you giving her on a regular basis?
$100 a month, just about.
Is that right, Ms. Rivera?
Your Honor, it's I'm serious. He doesn't come around
I don't
every
believe
month
it because
at
he just
times.
says I give her what I can when I can.
Your
and now
Honor.
suddenly it's $100 a month.
Your Honor,
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, at one point he came to see his son a few months ago over the summer. Okay, he gave me a $100 check for his son. He made it out
For the summer.
Yeah, actually for the summer because he wasn't really paying anything then. Okay, he gave me a check and he made it out in my name and in our son's name. I
In a
couldn't.
3-year-old child's name?
Yeah, so I
That's
couldn't-
how she's supposed to cash.
I couldn't. So they sent it
I
back.
didn't realize that she
Oh,
wasn't
you're
able.
playing
No,
real
I-
silly games.
Your Honor.
That's
You're
a
in,
fact.
You
I
know
don't-
what, Mr. Diaz, you're in business school. The first day of business, you're in business school, and you don't understand the world of
I subconsciously
checks.
wrote the check. I didn't realize that she wasn't going to be able to write it when I
but
put
Your
my
Honor,
son's
you
name
know what?
on
That's
it.
fine. Okay. And
No, Miss Rivera,
but
it's
I
not.
let-
No, Miss Rivera, it's not fine.
No, I know, but.
Don't accept that crock
Oh
of
no,
bull.
I don't. But I had told him that I could not cash that check.
You know
okay?
what? He knows that you have a 3-year-old's name on an account. Do 3-year-olds have bank accounts? Do 3-year-olds have any identification?
Actually, he does. Yes, he does.
He has a bank account that he can
Not
go to
because
the
of
bank and
him.
cash a check.
Not because of him.
Oh, you just really.
Your Honor, I
You
told-
think I am the most. Oh, why did you walk into my court?
Your Honor, since that check, okay, I told him about it, and I did not receive anything from him since that check until last week.
Because
that he
he's
gave me
still
another
waiting for
check.
your son to grow up to cash it.
Exactly.
So what do you want?
I want some kind of order of support. I have stuff here of how much it cost when I was paying before. I have medical
Paying
bills
what
here
before?
for his child care. I have medical bills for Devin that he's
Let me
never
see
helped
them.
me.
You don't have any medical insurance on your employment? Through your
No.
employment? Do you have medical insurance through your employment?
No, I do not.
So you take care of your child. She doesn't call you when he needs something. You don't know that a 3-year-old needs to go to the doctor.
Yes,
You,
I do
you
know
have to
that.
call him and tell him. You know that.
Yeah.
You don't know that a 3-year-old has to go to the doctor on occasion.
Yes, I do know that. I realize that. I was giving
But
her
have you
cash
paid
at
any
first.
doctor's bills?
Have I paid any doctor's bills?
That was my
Well, it
question.
depends where she uses the money for. Like when I give her money, I used to give it to her in cash. Now I write checks.
With the child's name on it. That she still can't cash. Yeah, you need to take a deep breath because that's how you sound. And yes, you're getting upset with me, and so am I with you. I'm not the one being funny here. You're the one sound like, you know, you write a check with a child's name on it. You didn't intend for her to cash that check.
Yes, I did.
Please
I
spare
have a
me.
sufficient amount of money for her to
Then you should have written the check in her name.
I subconsciously wrote that check.
Subconsciously, my goodness. I'm going to figure out what she needs you to do so she doesn't have to call you. All right?
That's fine.
I'm glad you agree. I'll be back.
Court will be at recess.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict. And an update on the case of Natasha Peterson versus Dave Peterson.
He was leaving me for another woman. She's really, really pretty. And I'm not.
Divorce court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce court is back and the verdict is in the case of Crystal Rivera, who says her husband Eric is not only a cheat, but a terrible father.
Back in the matter of Crystal Rivera versus Eric Diaz, your case is a clear indication of just why children should not have children and should stop having children. You decide to think about your future and what you want to do with your life after you have a child. And now you want to put the child on hold because you have to work and go to school 24 hours a day. And you want his life to be on hold, and or mother or her friends or her family or somebody else provide for him and call you if they need anything. Your children have needs every day, just like you do. If you wanted to go to school and you don't know how to balance going to school and being a father, you have to let one go. And it should be school if you can't balance it. I know you want a career. I know you want to do something better with your life, and that's good, but you can't do it at the expense of this child. In terms of support, you're not going to see him and give him money every now and then, and when you can. You're going to give him money daily, weekly, because he has a need weekly. He has a need daily, but I'm going to order you to pay weekly. So the total order for you is $170 per week for the support of your son that you love a lot. And the checks should be made payable to Crystal Rivera only. And that's the order of this court, and I don't have any further discussion about it. Court's adjourned.
All rise. Parties may leave the courtroom.
When divorce court returns, an update on the case of Natasha Peterson versus Dave Peterson.
She comes to me in front of my family and lets me know she's pregnant. The whole thing was a lie.
Are you a compulsive liar?
No.
Closed captioning for divorce court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in divorce court. Dave Peterson said his whole marriage to Natasha was based on lies.
She comes to me in front of my family and lets me know she's pregnant. The whole thing was a lie.
Why would you tell a lie like that?
First of all, I did tell the lie, and I'll admit to that.
Didn't you also tell another lie before or something?
A little tiny lies about stealing the car or something like that.
Are you a compulsive liar?
No.
Another time she came to me and said that she was pregnant. She told me that the child wasn't mine.
Are the tears real or is that fake? I don't see any tears. They'll get there in a minute. Keep going.
She comes to me after he's 4 months old and tells me, oh, by the way, he really is yours.
Ooh, sounds like another one of those lies to me.
Natasha said she felt she had to lie to try to save her marriage.
I love this man, Your Honor. He was leaving me for another woman. This other woman is like skinny. She's really, really pretty. And I'm not.
You're pretty.
No, she's like way prettier.
Joe, now the tears are real. Give her a Kleenex, please.
Natasha wanted Dave to reimburse her for household bills, but the judge denied her requests. Dave is happily involved with his new girlfriend. Natasha has realized that her dishonesty was a problem in her life, and while she's anxious to start dating, her first priority is to be honest with the people she loves.
He needs to start helping pay for his child. You know, I'm the one that does everything, and I need some help.
Working together will be what I have to do.
Yeah, I think I'll get married again. Just because I got married to the wrong person doesn't mean that there's not the right person out there for me.